Hey there, all of you pale heart breakers. Welcome back to Erico Blueberry. It's an unassuming Destiny podcast. My name is chillybin.
Don't break my pale heart. My achy breaky pale heart. It's Meckii.
I was hoping you'd go that way. As soon as you started, I heard it in my head and I was like, I don't know if you would make jokes about country music or not.
I love country music.
Yeah, I got some time for it. I have a weird kind of sweet spot for bluegrass in particular. Like I just like all the intricate banjo music. It's very
I
fun.
like Orville Peck. Surprise, man in a mask.
Yeah. Love a masked man around here. Um, hey, it's what, week 2 now of Act 1 of episode Echo episode 1. This naming structure is confusing. Because also the seasonal challenges refer to it as like part 2 of Act 1. What are you doing? Anyway.
This is not a play.
More fun stuff with Failsafe to talk about. We've also got like Dual Destiny. We had a crack at it. I came back and finished it off with someone else after that. Some Gambit stuff. Look, it's all happening. We are. I think I'm feeling like I'm into a bit of a rhythm now of like get in, do the story update, do some Pale Heart stuff, then just kind of branch out from there depending on what I feel like doing. Because there's so much to it. There's so much on offer.
Yeah, mine is story. My typical at the moment is story, do what I can for powerfuls, and then Pathfinder.
Yeah, it's weird being actually back on the power grind again. Like,
Yeah.
there's a few things that have like that even unlocked last week where it's like power rating 2005, and I was sitting at like 1970 something. I'm like, oh god, we're already here. Like, I need to be running those powerfuls and like going back to the tower when you drop a prime so that you get the most, like all of those tricks that I had long forgotten about because we haven't had a power bump in a while. Having to do them all over again. Kind of nice.
Yeah, I completely forgot about powerfuls.
Yeah.
So I'm like running strikes again. And I was like,
Yep.
this feels weird.
Yeah, and like the
It's
Pathfinder.
been a while since I've actively done a strike.
Yeah, and like Pathfinder's great for this. Like you reset it, you're getting powerful shit at the end of that. I think it's powerful rewards. Yeah. But yeah, there's a
Chasing
lot to
pinnacles.
do. Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've had to chase pinnacles.
I mean, I'm not even at the point where I haven't reached that part of the power curve where you need only pinnacles to go up. But I also want to make sure I don't like leave any of those on the table because they are good for a quick shot in the arm and just boost the numbers. But yeah, it's God, it's just good to be enjoying Destiny again.
Yeah, that's the main thing is like this story's got me invested, especially with a couple of things that dropped this week. The writing.
Yes. All right. Let's just get into this week's story then, because like tasty. I love the writing for Failsafe. She's very like self-referential and funny, and like the dual personality trade-off is interesting, where it's like one is real dour and sarcastic, and the other one's super upbeat.
Yeah, she's the down one is like the monotoned one, I should say. Self-deprecating.
Yeah.
Very sarcastic, very dry.
Yep.
And then high-pitched or like bubbly Failsafe is that like, we're having a good time. Yeah. I'm great. She even like every now and then goes, wee, like.
Yeah.
Says slightly psychotic things in that bouncy tone, like, oh, it's times like these I wish I still had access to my railguns. Yeah. And I'm like, excuse me?
There's this through line through last week and this week, like poking fun at the fact that we basically never went to Nessus and like dealt with Failsafe after a certain point in the game's story development. And there are a couple of lines from this week in particular, and I'm just going to read them because they made me laugh so much. First one is, after the Cabal dropped a tank on Nessus and you ignored me the whole time, I thought we had beef. And then that's like shortly followed up by our research has been the most eventful and fulfilling time I've had in centuries of silent abandonment. I fucking lost my mind. I was like, it's so, and like we saw that with, I think it was last week. Yeah, because that was week one where we're first like re-interfacing with Failsafe, and she's going through all the major story beats of like, what the fuck have you been doing? You've killed more and more gods, and you didn't ever come to say hi.
Yeah. It's like that through line of like, oh, it would have been nice to know.
Yeah. And it's like, at the same time, Failsafe is like portrayed as like this AI that is like incredibly like capable and intelligent, and somehow missed all of this. It's so funny.
It's that constant antagonization of being this highly intelligent. And obviously she has emotions, or
Yeah.
the closest that AI can get to emotion, I suppose. And she's trapped on this fucking crashed ship.
Uh-huh.
Like, just the
Now, here's something interesting. I don't know if you've noticed this, but when you go into the helm up to talk to Failsafe, her little icon, like it says Failsafe, then directly under that, it says Helm AI in training.
Yeah.
That is so interesting to me. Like, if we think back to where were we? It was like a week or two ago. We were talking about like episodes 1, 2, and 3 that they talked about in that video, and how after those they're releasing this thing called Frontiers, and we speculated that maybe that involves us leaving the solar system in some way, loading the helm with an AI. Probably a good idea. Like in the world of Destiny, I'm not talking about like our real world AI because that's all bullshit, smoke and mirrors. But in the way that Failsafe operates,
Except for the time it had a mental breakdown and started calling people slurs.
yeah, well, I mean that's just Microsoft trying to do it, and others actually. It was not just that one. What a mistake. But yeah, loading the helm up with this like super intelligent AI, yeah, that's probably a useful tool to have, and not just leave it stranded on Nessus if you're going to leave the solar system.
Considering how fast she runs calculations and probabilities and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, because like this week's story, it like almost immediately opens with her saying like, I want you to do this, but in order to tell you to do this, I need to be your commanding officer. Hang on 1 second, I'll just make myself your commanding officer. Just goes away and like does some shit in the background.
Beep boop, beep boop.
So good.
You've
And she
ignored me for years. Now you're gonna listen to me.
yeah, and she spent some time again trolling Saint a little. It was very cute, like sort of joking back and forth. It's just Saint completely missing every joke that comes his way. So good.
Yeah, the writing is. I'm gonna have to go dig around social media and find more writers because the writing in Final Shape, chef's kiss.
Yeah, well, I think,
and then
I think
what
normally,
they did for Cade,
yeah,
chef's kiss.
I think normally the expansions and the seasons or episodes tend to have different like team makeups. There might be some crossover, but they might be like different writers even between the two of them.
Yeah, and then carrying that kind of levity through to this Echoes, and then like threading that levity through Saint and Failsafe.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
even Osiris a little bit, but his is more that dry,
he's like
sarcastic.
He's like a salty uncle.
Yeah, where his is more like when Failsafe started to discover what's been going on, his attitude was more or less like, here we go. I'm gonna have to explain all of this to her.
Yeah.
It's just been so good, and like there has been bits where I have laughed out loud. Yeah. Like you're just running a mission and out of nowhere, Failsafe will say something and then just be like, "Wee," and you're like, "What?"
Just unhinged.
Well, like, yeah, and that's my favorite thing too. It's the bubbly version of Failsafe saying some of the most unhinged shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I also, like we've said in the past, we both very much have English Australian senses of humor.
Mhm.
So the monotoned Failsafe
Yeah.
also hits that
Yeah.
like sweet spot of like dry, sarcastic, self-deprecating English humor too.
Yes. Yeah. The thing that like the thing I've kind of been waiting for. I think I saw like inklings of it starting in this week's story. So like we had Final Shape wrap up, and Ikora was basically like, we have to be constantly ready. We never know when the next thing's coming along. Blah blah blah. Keep the defenses up. And then last week was like this super like nice intro to the season. And I was like, okay, but when is the shoe going to drop? When are we going to start like hooking in some lore bits and bigger enemies and all this sort of stuff? And we had a little bit of that from Ikora this week, where she refers to the aurora coming out of the Traveler as the Valence, capital V Valence. So it is a classic Destiny 2 proper noun introduction. And then yeah, those like little motes of light that we saw coming out, she just says like the object that fell from the Valence, which I don't know if that phrasing is anything to read into, but yeah, just interesting words and phrases being thrown around, and saying that object that fell into Nessus has an unusual power signature, unlike anything they've seen before, and the Vex interacting with it as a new variable, essentially as a thing they never predicted, and that's why they're acting weird. But also maybe they're learning and adapting, and that's something that they don't usually do, and that's why it's scary.
Yeah. Just to grow off that, I noticed I picked something up and I put it in the notes. I'm not sure if you picked it up.
Mm.
But Failsafe pointing out that there's 2 types of radial area
Was
on
that
Nessus
was
now.
that like during the seasonal activity or just
I
running
think it's
around?
you drop off your samples for this week's activity, and then part of the dialogue once
Right.
you go back to talk to her about the samples you've dropped off.
Yeah, because
She
that
points
must have
out
just
that
gone over my head.
she points out that there's now 2 types of radial area
Mhm.
on Nessus, and it's competing.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And
Okay, that
then
rings a bell.
yeah, because they're monotoned. Failsafe comes in and goes, amoeba versus amoeba,
Yes.
fighting
Okay.
it out.
I remember that line. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. That was interesting to me that there's now 2 types of radial area on Nessus, and it's quote unquote competing.
Yeah. I think actually
Which is
like
interesting.
that's given me some muscle memory of why I missed that line. I think I like had the game on this screen and I was over on this screen writing notes for the show, and just
Potentially,
like
yeah.
that one just washed over me. But yes, very
I
interesting.
just found that very interesting.
Yes.
And we've still not got any hint of the big bad.
Nope. Nope.
As we're going deeper each week, we're seeing hints of stuff cropping up in terms of Bungie telling us there's a unknown civilization in Nessus. We're starting to see hints of strange architecture come through, and stuff that looks like it might have like human technology that seemingly looks like it might have crashed through Nessus's surface a long time ago, or
I have no idea.
Like, what are some of these ships in crates doing that deep? Like, were they taken down there? Like, what are they doing there? Is this just a quicksand, whereas the sand from the bottom comes to the surface? The surface sand kind of is the Vex architecture bubbling to the surface, pulling other things under. Is this part of it changing, that it's almost doing like a... It's got me very intrigued, and now I'm spending my days trying to find samples.
Yeah.
Because I need to know more.
Yeah. I've still got like a couple of quests. I think one from last week and maybe 1 or 2 from this week to get through. I don't know if those will have like story stuff associated with them. But
will it be like the fish tank?
Yeah, I kind of want to just like get them done so I feel like I'm more certain I haven't missed anything. It's just I'm like hungry for the lore, because it's all very fascinating. We've just been given like hints at things, to your point.
Yeah. I I want to get more samples for the same reason, but then also, much like the fish tank, it unlocked collected goblin brain, where I'm like, I need to get every single one of these boxes ticked.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think that is kind of the gist of this week's story, right?
They are very much drip feeding it to us.
Yeah, I mean, they've switched from 4 seasons to 3 episodes, and those episodes are meant to be a bit chunkier. So, like, it makes sense that week 2 we're still not super sure what's happening. We also need a cooldown period after the final shape ended.
I was going to say it's going to be like most of their stuff, where sometimes it feels a little bit slow, and then out of nowhere there comes that big first major story beat, and then it takes off.
Yeah. Like I said before, like, I am still kind of waiting for a shoe to drop, because that is kind of how it goes. They'll just be like, okay, this week here's a bunch. We're going to take like 3 of these threads that we've dangled in front of you and make a ball out of it, and just go, here, figure that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. It's so good.
I'm not into theory crafting, but watching people who are much more savvy on Nessus lore and Vex lore talking about it either on Reddit or on Twitter has been really interesting.
Okay. Anything spicy you would actually want to voice here on this show?
Not really. It's a lot of kind of back and forth about what the Vex are doing and why the Vex didn't predict this.
Right.
And then there is a lot of, I think I said this when we talk about the trailer, there are a lot of people who are in the same boat as me, where they're like, who is the big bad? Why are they kind of shaped like a guardian?
Yep.
Kind of shaped like a warlock. And then a lot of the same theories as me. Does the Ishtar Collective have anything to do with this? Does Bray Tech have anything to do with, like, not as in they started it, but like, when will they pop up?
Yeah.
When will Ashamir pop up? Will he pop up? Is the big bad Ashamir? Did Ashamir see this source of power and go for it? Is it one of Maya Sundaresh's many, many, many clones? And then I'm seeing a lot of people being like, has anyone checked the Ishtar Collective in the Star-Crossed mission? Has anyone gone back and looked at that recently? Has that changed?
Huh. Yeah.
Just a lot of people like me who are like, where's Maya?
Yeah, that feels like a lot
this feels like something Maya would fuck with. Like, the moment she what
I'm doing in my head is like I'm basically putting a bunch of stuff on plates and just holding it up and saying, is this anything? And I can't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. Because one of the Reddit discussions I got locked into, and not in a negative way, it was actually really constructive, and I learned a lot of lore through it, was Maya. I accidentally started it, but I was like, Maya's obsessed with the veil, and this thing is called the Valence.
Yeah,
and these little,
I don't know if that is like a shared language root necessarily.
These little anomalies that have been spat out. This seems like it would be something Maya Sundaresh would like clock. She'd be like, wait a fucking minute. That's why I think she might tie into it. It's because it seems too good of an opportunity for Maya to not jump onto. Yeah. And she's in the network. We know that. She's got clones in the network.
Yeah.
But then there's Ashamir's in the network. And then there's the Clovis Bray stuff I brought up. So it's like,
yeah, I guess for all
who is this big bad? Who is warlock shaped? It's bothering me.
I think the other question for me is like, if it's any of them, why now and not earlier? Why is it now that they're choosing to make themselves known, whereas they didn't
afraid of
at
the
any
witness
point before? Yeah, I guess we've
created that power vacuum. It's given them a window.
Yeah, Ashamir making a heel turn.
We got Fikrul, so like, why not Maya?
Yeah, but Fikrul was
another
always around.
Stinker? Why, Maya's always been around.
Yeah, I guess so.
In one form or another.
Yeah.
The Ishtar Collective, as we've learnt, have always been around. Clovis Bray didn't go down with Deepstone.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
just like Hideo Kojima, they say, "I'll keep coming."
oh no.
uh, yeah, so I'm excited for next week, and that is like the wildest thing is that for us the story drops on a Wednesday. By Thursday, I've played it, and I'm already waiting for the next one.
I was gonna say this story has us locked in.
Yeah, and
And they're
it's
feeding us just enough for us to keep.
yeah, it's not necessarily like the part of the Destiny kind of lore sphere that I gravitate towards the most. I think like if anything did, like it might be Braytech stuff because I find like the aesthetic is appealing, like the Braytech aesthetic is appealing, but also like there's a lot of mystery and technology in there, and I find that like it's like a dark sci-fi kind of attraction. Vex stuff is more like, oh no, my calculator's haunted, essentially. Um, so this is like I'm interested in this story, but if there was anything that was like really going to get me, I wouldn't have thought it would be
Sentient.
this, but they're just telling it in a way that is so like entertaining and kind of compelling. Of like it's funny, and then at the end of it, I'm like, wait, you just dropped a bunch of words. What does any of this mean?
The
What is
sentient
valence?
the sentient milk frothers.
Yeah, yeah, they do be milking. I'll say that much.
They do be full of milk.
Yeah,
Don't drink it.
they just discovered soy milk. So watch out.
Failsafe said I can't drink it.
Anyway, we'll find out more next week, and we'll report back as we continue through Echoes Act 1.
I think it's a lot of fun because neither of us, like you just said, like you're not a Vex Nessus
Yeah.
Ishtar nerd.
Nope.
And neither am I. I'm an Elixir /
Yeah.
if it's crusty and dusty, I want to know about it in the Destiny universe. Is
Yeah.
it crusty? I want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't know enough to kind of make predictions really,
No.
other than just bouncing what we know around. So it's keeping us on the hook.
Yes.
Because we're learning a lot as well. Whereas some people are just like, oh, I know that.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Vex lore nerd.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, okay.
I say nerd with love.
Yes. Oh yeah, I call myself one. So it's only ever a term of endearment. But things I do know about Gambit's back, baby. I'm back on that dredge and grind. Feels good. Like it feels kind of good to run prismatic in Gambit. Tell you what.
Yeah.
Just because it gives you like extra damage output and resistance, so you feel a little bit stronger. But yeah, went back to that like consecration Pyrogal gauntlets build, just damage everywhere. They have brought back, and I didn't clock that they were going to do this, the Dreaming City Gambit map. Yeah.
I haven't seen or thought about that fucker in a long time.
It was the first map I loaded into, and I was like, hello, old friend. Where have you been?
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I haven't played Gambit yet, but now that for some reason I just didn't think about prismatic in Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said that, my brain went, oh,
well, also because
disgusting.
Yeah, because Titan Prismatic is so much about suspend. It's great when a whole room full of enemies come in and you just pop them up in the air and then throw the shield through them.
Like the caves in the back of that one Earth map.
Yeah, or the caves in that Dreaming City map. Yeah, there's a few where it's really, really fun. And then, dude, I have to stress that Twilight Arsenal is one of the most fun Titan supers I've ever touched. Not only does it do a shit ton of damage, then I get to pick up the axe. Or my friends can pick it up, and that still does a heap of damage as well. It's just so satisfying to like leap into the air and then just like throw these 3 big axes down and watch the damage just like chunk away.
The homies can help.
That's it. The homies can be Titans for a day. Take your kid to Titan Camp Day today. But yeah,
work placement as a Titan.
Yeah. I am. Yeah, I've always enjoyed Gambit, but like it's fun to just have some new tools and to jump in there and just be like, I'm gonna grind out these dredging requirements, get that up to 12. Already banked up a bunch of good company medals because I cannot die sometimes, it seems. So just like, haha, I'm hiding sometimes because I've got 15 motes and the bank is busy. Please don't kill me. But
I'll have to jump into Gambit with you. It's been a while.
Yes, it has. It's also been a while since I played Gambit. I think the last time I did was when I guilded it last season.
Another night of just bevs and running Gambit over and over again.
Yeah, I was basically just like Gambit on this screen, like YouTube video up on the other, and it's just like very, very much my happy place for like a good 2 hours. It's just like running Gambit. It was a good time. Gambit is a good time. Trademark.
Doing strikes again.
Yeah. I did a few of those as well, actually.
Back to my old ways of just running strikes over and over and over again. You guys being like, Meckii, what are you doing? I'm like, strikes.
Yep. I think so. You had to
prismatic.
You had to load into the Exodus crash strike for the,
and it's changed slightly.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's just for the seasonal quest or if they have just like across the board changed some strikes.
It hasn't dropped while I've been running strikes, so I can't tell if it's a mission specific one or if it's a permanent change. You know how arms deal are permanently changed?
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if it's that.
Yeah, it could be. Like some of those strikes have been around for ages, dude.
Yeah, but with prismatic, absolutely melting bosses.
Yeah.
Absolutely melted Brachus.
Oh, yeah.
Dude couldn't even get off the platform.
Well, the thing is like you used to like in a regular strike before prismatic, before like final shape.
Oh, the moment you saw his head in the escalator,
you could shoot him from the bottom of the escalator when he spawns in, and he would be dead before you reach the top.
Yeah, no. The couple that I ran, one dude just took off with stasis slingshot.
Hell yeah! Oh, the strand like grappling hook shit.
Yeah. Sorry, strand, and then basically not thunder crash. I don't know what attack super he used, but basically got up the top and then thunder crashed the guy.
Right.
And then I, as a warlock, just lobbed an over at him, and then the hunter, I lost track of what he was doing.
Yeah.
But the guy was dead before the elevator was even halfway up.
Yeah. That's
in the chat. In the chat, the Titan who took off just types, "That felt wrong."
Yeah, but it's nothing new. Like we've been doing that to that poor fool for so long.
And then Glassway.
Oh yeah. I don't think I've done that one yet.
Melted the boss in Glassway too. Both of them. Because there's the mini and then the big mind. Yeah, just dunked on a fool.
Mm-hmm.
And then before the guy even had a chance to come back out of the portal, we all had our supers back up because of especially with getaway artists, the kind of chain. Yeah. And then the new warlock hood is really, really good at getting like a chain up of just melee feeds grenade feeds special, like super, like I can it's like the old days of my well where I can get my super back suspiciously quick.
Yeah, okay.
When I used to run Phoenix and I could get my super back super quick.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like that again.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, this doesn't feel right.
But also they put it in the game, so do it.
I shouldn't have my Nova Bomb back already. It's been a minute.
But I do.
Here it is.
Don't worry about it.
He's coming for you very slow.
Yeah, the other thing that you and I did this week, we first did a bunch of work to unlock the dual destiny mission, the thing that gives you the exotic class item, which was basically just doing a bunch of overthrows, which I think is still pretty fun.
I've not done them before, and I actually really enjoyed them.
Yeah, and you've now seen what it takes to run a full like four wave overthrow. Like they're pretty easy to do by yourself as well. Like that's a really good like brain off something on in the background kind of activity.
That was the exact way that I was about to I was like, it feels like Battlegrounds again, where you just turn your brain off.
Yeah.
And just do objective.
Yeah. Yeah, because like you can just run around and get like points for killing stuff, like 1 or 2 here or there, or you can do those objectives that give you like 450 and you need 1,000. So by doing 2 of them and just killing a bunch of enemies, you'll just get there. Like I had to run because like there's triumphs for like killing each of the 3 bosses in each of the 3 locations like 2 or 3 times. And I had a few of those to clear to get the Kvostov exotic stuff all the way to the end. So that was just like, I'm just gonna like loop through all 3 of these zones, just doing overthrows until it's done. And that was a good afternoon. I had fun. Caught up on some shows.
Doing them with me, and then me getting distracted by
but
things in the environment.
But that's why I say like you can easily solo them, because like you were doing that and I was just finishing them off. Like, because
following this ghost around.
Yeah, that ghost that didn't actually do anything either.
Chili, what is this? And you're like, what? Because you're on the other side of the map, and I'm like, this? What is this ghost doing?
Yeah, I had to run across the map to come and see what it was doing.
Watching me follow this ghost around the pyramid.
Yeah, it wasn't doing shit. It's there for something that wasn't in the rotation, I'm pretty sure.
And then the second overthrow we did, where you're like, Meckii, you can follow this ghost. You can follow this one.
Yeah, this one is actually an objective. We'll get points for this one.
Just a pigeon.
Yeah.
Oh, shiny.
It's so funny because like part of unlocking the dual destiny thing is like in each of the 3 locations, do a full overthrow, and then after you've killed that boss on the 4th wave, there's a hive wizard that spawns, and you have to kill that in each of the 3. Like that's the thing you actually have to do in each of them. But they're in a set location, but I hadn't seen any maps. I was like, I'll just find them. Like, how hard can it be? We've got 4.5 minutes. And I would have, like, we would split up. I would have run off to find it, and I would have killed it before you even got there, because you're just fucking doing whatever. I don't even know.
Planting.
Yeah, you gotta put your seed in the hand. I know what I said.
You're killing this wizard, and I'm just like, oh, plant the seed. What's this? And you're like, I don't know. I'm like, I found another ghost.
I'm busy doing the objective, dude. Fuck. But yeah, we did
finding
that.
Things and being like, do you know this rotates? And you're like, I don't care.
Doesn't matter.
I'm standing on a block slowly rotating, and you're like, Meckii.
So the thing is, like, I've done the like objective that randomly pops up that involves those boxes with the shapes on them, so I know what they're there for now. It's super mundane. It's not interesting
standing
at all.
on them, slowly rotating. That's one thing I'll. It's brought back the pale heart. Has brought back that part of my brain again, which hilarious for me. I think the moment you realize
for everyone else,
yeah, the chagrin, where it's like it's a fun new environment,
yes, and it's huge,
and parts of it, and it's huge, and parts of it is like once you get over the kind of body horror aspects of some of the areas, some of it is kind of whimsical.
Yes,
like why is this hand here?
This why are any of these hands? There's so many.
I can interact with it, and it's brought back that. Rat pigeon brain mech.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like wandering off like I used to on Europa. I just wander off.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
into
remember
the vast wasteland.
I mean, also if you're talking about like launch week Beyond Light, we were also incredibly sleep deprived, pulling 12 to 16 hour days trying to get raid ready. So there was also a certain amount of like lack of sleep induced delirium, I think.
The night that you and Alex were doing an actual mission, like objective, and I got lost in a lost.
Fuck, I forgot about that. We had to come and find you.
Where am I? And you were like, describe it. And I'm like, it looks like this, it looks like this. And you guys would head to where my marker was, but the lost sector was underground.
Yeah. Should just be like, hey, just leave the
Enemies.
fire team, rejoin. You'll come in where we are. Let's just move on.
Guys, there's a tank in here, and you're like, where?
Yeah.
It's like that again, where I'm like, I don't know where I am, and you're just like, turn around. I'm like, oh, there you are.
Yeah, that still happens.
I love the Pale Heart.
Yeah.
It's like brought back old Meckii in quite a few ways.
Yeah.
The best way is the kind of whimsy.
But yeah, so we did all that, or rather, I did that, and you looked around, and then
I followed a ghost in circles.
yeah, and then we followed the objectives to a crystal statue of Savathun. That's what it was, and there was like a thing where we had to run off and kill a tormentor, bring back a light and a dark orb, put those in some plates. This was all not actually part of the mission yet. This was just the act of unlocking the fucking thing. But all the while, Savathun is like teasing us with little like kind of story beats, and I didn't write any of it down, but I remember it being classic Savathun, intriguing little statements that she likes to do.
Her usual, light and dark bullshit.
Actually, there's this other third thing, maybe. What the hell is going on? Yeah.
I have secrets for you.
So long story short, I guess we launched the mission and then got to a point, we were like getting through the first encounter and then got to a point where it's like, oh, actually, you I think was sitting at maybe 20 under power, and that was just enough to make it like to introduce enough friction that we tried it a few times. We got the mechanic and we were working through it, but it was just like deaths were happening so quickly. Not just you. Like I don't want that to sound like I'm putting this on you.
No.
I was also copying it.
Like I said just before, that this expansion and this season has brought back old Meckii in some ways. And one of those ways, arguably the most annoying of the two ways. The first way, harmless, me getting lost. Second way, me continuously dying, which then resulted in me getting up in my own head, which resulted in me making more very simple mistakes.
Yeah, well,
and I've not been like that in a really long time. Like not even day one raids, I've been like that. So for me to be back at that point, I feel like that was, I was way under level, but also like just figuring that mission out. Yeah.
So I've thought about it since then too. Like this mission is in some ways unlike anything in Destiny, right? Because it is a strict requirement to Guardian Fireteam, but you are almost constantly split up and you are asked to look after yourself. There isn't a lot of opportunity where you can help each other because there are these enemies that you have to kill to progress the encounter that only you can damage. And they are major enemies.
Bro, my resilience was on 95.
Yeah, like that's what I say about your power level. Your power level just wasn't there, but also like I was unable to help even after I'd like done my part of it and was just on ad clear essentially. Like there was nothing I could do to help.
Yeah, I had to pop those knights myself.
Yeah. So that is also like a different type of challenge, I think, to anything we've seen before. Because like even in like a fire team of 3, like you are able to like cross over and help each other out and get revives and all that sort of stuff. And like when you get to raids and stuff, it's like, yeah, there are so many spots where overlaps happen and you're able to help each other out. This asks you so much more than anything else to work alone and figure your shit out while the other person's doing the same thing, and then you come back together near the end. And it's like I then went back and did it with our buddy Alex, and we got all the way through the end. We got it done. Having seen the whole thing through, it does like so that first encounter it feels like you diverge. You do definitely like come back together as the rest of the mission progresses, and you do actually work a lot more together in terms of like communicating puzzles and things like that. But there's still that problem of like, you have to be able to take this big enemy down by yourself.
Yeah.
And that I think is where that power level requirement actually kind of matters because you can't like team up on it.
It's in the name too, dual destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Like it suggests like when something is a dual destiny, it's a parallel running.
Yeah. It's also
destinies that intertwine. It's not.
But the other interesting thing about it from like fire team requirements, you have to have one light and one dark subclass between the two of you. But it also says prismatic counts for both. So like running
Counts as
prismatic is just
both.
what me and Alex did when we got through it. I will not describe the bits you haven't seen because one, I actually think it's it's one of the most interesting missions they've ever done from a design perspective, and I want you to like go into that as fresh as possible. And two, the stuff that Savathun says throughout it is good, and that should be again unspoiled if you can help it.
As a Sava geek,
Yeah, particularly the stuff that happens at the end is very good.
I really want to do it now, but I've still got to get some more powerfuls.
Yeah, and it's the sort of thing that like it's just there. You can do it whenever. But the thing that completing it unlocks is the ability. Well, like, it gives you one of the exotic class items that has the 2 random exotic perk slots. That is kind of built for prismatic. And then once you've done it, then you can just drop it randomly out of I think overthrow or pale heart chests. You can there's just like a chance you'll get them. Running dual destiny means obviously you will get one out of that. The one I got when we finished it was dog shit, and I deleted it. Like it was, I think one of the perks was like some arc kind of lightning effect. The other one was the Titan thing where your barricade, like your class ability, it like turns your barricade into a wall of ice. I'm like, this is shit. I never used the original. Like, get rid of this. So I will be hoping for better rolls because I've seen images people are kicking around of stuff they got, and I'm like, I want some of that juice.
Yeah,
but we'll see. That's just random rolls for you, you know.
I've seen on Twitter like because I follow a bunch of like warlock mains.
Yeah,
as you do. And some of the cooked drops that I've seen coming through where warlock mains are like, my prismatic is about to become so much more cooked.
Like,
and I'm like,
more people getting access to a Star Eater scales effect where pick up orb super is more powerful. Like that plus another exotic perk is crazy.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I can definitely see certain combos and how fucked of a build I could probably make because my build as is pretty messed. Like it's pretty gross.
I think the hard part for me is you'd have to convince me to take off the chest armor that shoots rockets because
rockets out of your tibbies.
The rockets are so powerful on their own, and then it makes rocket launchers more powerful, and that is a thing I'm doing a lot of at the moment.
I picked the helmet.
Yes. What does that do again?
Stuff.
Yeah, good chat.
I play Destiny.
2,500 hours.
I picked it because it looks like it's out of Horizon Zero Dawn and also the speaker.
Yes.
I picked it on aesthetics.
Yeah.
There's people in the comments shitting because I was just like, I don't care what it does. It looks pretty.
Hey,
healing grenade. This is why I picked it. I reminded myself for my support lock build. Because healing grenades spawn a restorative turret.
Oh, that's
healing
right.
allies occasionally spawns an orb of power.
That's right.
I liked the idea of that healing turret because I didn't want to make a build that was entirely dependent on Boots of the Assembler.
Yeah, that's like reverse war crimes. It's a turret that makes people better.
Yeah. Shoot you. And then now that I've got the auto rifle that heals, no hesitation.
Oh yeah, the support frame. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm about to make a very fun support lock build.
That's wholesome of you.
Yeah. Back to my D1 days of support lock.
Yeah.
That's why I picked that. It wasn't entirely for the aesthetics.
Okay.
It was because it goes in my support lock build.
Yeah.
And I didn't see a lot of usage out of the chest because Warlock's got a helm and a chest offered.
What does the chest do? Yeah, sick.
Forgot.
Irrelevant. L.
Head empty, only helmet.
Yeah. Head empty, put in helmet.
Don't care, didn't ask.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah,
now I've got the Hey Arnold helmet.
Yeah, the fucking the wide boy. So good. Yeah, look, I think that's about it for this episode, hey?
Yeah.
I like looking at the last couple of episodes, I was like, geez, these were some run times. But then I thought about it, I was like, well, we were wrapping up the entire fucking story and then talking about the real ending of it. So that makes sense.
And then trailers that they dropped, and then
Yeah.
week 1 all fell at the same time.
Yes. So hey,
I only have
back to I guess
thing.
regular runtime of 40-ish minutes it'll probably end up at.
I just have one request.
Mm-hmm.
Bungie, can you take away the ability to see how hurt people are? Because I'm sick of being roasted by my friends for hurting myself jumping off things. Only let warlocks see people's health bars. Thank you.
I do actually like the way that they've incorporated health bars into the reticle when you the little icon next to players' names, right? It's like there's a health bar just subtly around the edge of it.
I'll have to find the video if I can and give it to you. I'll ask permission for the people involved. I was running legendary stuff with some friends, and they turned around because I was lagging behind a little bit because they weren't picking up some of the lore stuff, and it was frustrating me.
Come on.
And we came off a cliff. You can see me jump, and then the reticle go.
Are you not jumping near the bottom?
You can't die from fall damage now. I don't care.
Well, okay, yeah, I guess that is true.
It's really funny to see my health go.
You just do a big jump, and then you catch one drag shot in the head, and you're just dead.
And it's just in this video, you see that happen, and then you just hear all my mates go, Meckii.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
I have stopped saying that. I say it internally, but I'm like, it does nothing. I just won't.
Oh, you just hear me or my character go, ow.
Yeah. I stopped asking. I just assume. I just assume what you've done.
I loved running the legendary with you and Alex, and we're climbing through into the Traveler, and I forgot to jump. And then you just hear Alex go, I heard that. Because he heard my character go, ow.
Yeah.
Please, Bungie, please stop facilitating ways for people to bully me.
I mean, this really feels like you're bringing it on yourself, and the game is just a tool.
Yeah. The new expansion has brought the pigeon back.
Yeah. And with it,
adopt me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and with it, the pigeon lord. But yeah, that'll do it for this here episode 95 of Erica
Something
Blueberry.
Ridiculous like that.
We
are
5 away from almost a century of this fucking thing.
Almost 2 years?
Yeah, something like that. I have to check because we have definitely skipped weeks. Sickness and life and other stuff happens.
There was that one end of year where we skipped 2 months.
Oh,
because we traveled and then we got COVID.
That's right.
And then we traveled.
I remember.
Then it was Christmas.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll figure something out for 100 because that's a nice little milestone. But hey, thank you for being here for this one. You can hit the buttons to like and subscribe. I believe that's how this works. You can leave a comment below if you'd like. Meckii, what would we like to hear from the folks at home?
Your favorite new weapon.
Alternative.
It can be exotic, or it can be a regular, and why?
And if that's too much to ask, what is the noise you make when you take fall damage?
Oh no.
IRL or in game. Dealer's choice. Yeah.
I'm familiar with taking fall damage in both.
Too real. Let's get out of here. Thank you for stopping by as always. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Appreciate you. Stay hydrated. Bye.